Want to go back to your recollections in the transcribed interview of Mr. Irving. He said that on January 6th, the initial statement about the guard occurred on a phone call. You noted it's in his office, which is correct.
Can you repeat the question, sir? Just so
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mr. Irving said that on January 6th, the initial statement about the guard occurred on a phone call. You contend that you went into his office to discuss the guard.
On January 6th?
Yes.
No, sir. I was in the command center on January 6th when we became under attack at 12:53.
Okay.
I was there for several hours until I left at approximately 5 p.m. to go see the vice president and go check on the Capitol.
Thank you. On January 6th, Mr. Irving said that when you called and asked his permission to ask for the guard, he gave you permission. Is that correct?
That is false. I think if you look at his testimony, he says when I first called him, I want to, just for clarification, at 2 o'clock, because I think his testimony is before I was saying I might be needing the National Guard. That is absolutely not true. When I first called at 12:58, I absolutely said we need the Guard now. I think my response was, I think we're getting our asses handed to us. And so, no, it wasn't correct that he gave me approval on the first call.
So when comparing your transcribed interview with the January 6th committee and the transcribed interview of Mr. Irving, there seems to be some pretty big discrepancies in the timeline of events and how they happen. Can you explain the discrepancies?
Maybe there's problems with recollection. The one thing I'd say is when you think there's discrepancies, realize that Congress did try and change the law to correct those discrepancies in the sense of they changed the law giving the chief the authority now. So obviously they agree with my position.
Well, I thank you for being here, Mr. Sun. And we really are working as chair of the full committee to depoliticize Capitol Police. I remain concerned that under the previous Congress, under the previous Speaker, Capitol Police was politicized, and we're working to depoliticize the security apparatus on Capitol Hill. With that, I yield back.